Welcome to AP Physics C. We've got about a week until you start in class. Some of you, there's two different cohorts at the start of the year, but I want to give you some information about our course, and I'm really excited that you're going to be here. So there'll be a few video clips which I'm going to try to merge together, some of which will have general information and some of which will have information specific about AP Physics C. Thanks. Hi, I'm Doug Forrest. I'm going to be your physics teacher this year. I want to introduce myself, give you a little bit of background about me, and within the first week or so of the course, I'm going to ask you to submit a brief video letting me know a little bit about you, maybe a questionnaire as well. So just to give you a little bit of background, like I said, my name is Doug Forrest. I have taught this is my 27th year in the Pickerington Local School District. It's the only place I've taught full-time. I didn't end up starting out life as a teacher. So I never thought I'd be a teacher until actually a couple years after I graduated college. My undergraduate degree is in molecular genetics, and I worked for a couple years down at a research lab at University of Cincinnati. One of the things about that I didn't like is the lack of interactions with people. The best part of that job that I had for the couple years I had it was actually training incoming graduate students on how to use certain types of equipment and procedures and things like that. So that was really got me thinking about teaching. So I went back, I got my teaching license, and I started teaching in Pickerington way back in the day. I may have had some of your parents, so back in 1994. So after I've been teaching, though, I also worked for about 20 years part-time as a lab technician or as a research microbiologist. So I did that on weekends and in the summers. I think that's actually kind of important because I'll be honest with you, I think a lot of science as it's been taught is not really focused on what's important. And a huge part of understanding science is filtering out what's important from all the rest of the crap. And I can tell you, having worked over 20 years as a scientist, there are some things that are really important which aren't stressed enough, and there are things which we do in science classes in school which are very unrealistic. And I'm going to try to teach you the way that I think would allow you to think scientifically for the rest of your life and understand how science works as best we can. So that's pretty cool. A little bit about my background. I have had season tickets to the Cleveland Browns. Oh my God. I can't do that with the glasses on. Since 1990, I think 1990. It's been a whole lot of losing. I have had them through their 0-16 year. It's been pretty difficult, but you can't say that I'm not loyal, and I will stick by you. If I've stuck by those Cleveland Browns for all those years, I will stick by you as students through thick and thin. The best thing I think about teaching is the students I've had. I've been really blessed to have a lot of great students over the years, and I'm thinking that you're going to be another one of those students, and I really mean that. This isn't the way we necessarily would want to start a school year, but I guarantee you we're going to have a great year. I want to show you a few parts or a few resources that we're going to actually be using the AP Physics C course this year. So I'm doing a screencast. If I pull up Chrome, there's a few places we're going to go. One thing I think is important for you to know is we will be using a textbook this year. It is a university level textbook. It looks like this. Now I'm going to try to get you access to an electronic copy, and I'll do everything I can to do that. That would be through a website called Mastering Physics, and it's been a pain to try to get you that electronic copy each year. If not, we'll work on something else, but you'll definitely have a hard copy. I'd like you to have a hard copy and an electronic copy if we can. The second thing is some of our homework this year is going to be online. We'll go through a tutorial for how to do that, but it's at a site called the Expert TA, and the way I handle it I think you'll really like because it encourages collaboration. In other words, I might give an assignment and, well, you all have the same types of problems, the numbers are unique. So it really fosters collaboration and talking about how to solve the problems instead of a particular answer. And there's multiple chances to answer it correctly. This won't be for all of our homework, but it'll be for a moderate amount of it. The other thing is, and this is going to be one of the most important things early on, is to sign up for Physics Remind Feed. So in the introductory document that I'm going to put on my website and in our Google Classroom, that's something where you'll need to access, and there's going to be a code there for you. Speaking of my website, I'm going to go here and I'm going to type it in. It is simple. It is pickphysics.com. So if I type pickphysics, it's the first site that comes up. And there we go. Now, I don't have much in there right now, but this is a general site information. If you need a letter recommendation, I'm going to update that. You click on that. Some other things right here, a way to email me, although you should know how to do that anyhow. And then for AP Physics C, there's different submenus here. So one is a place where I'll put our current syllabus. The home page basically has a remind feed in it also. I put that in as a widget. This actually will play. And then you probably are going to want to go to the menus to look at other things. So normally I'll have a syllabus posted. I don't have that yet. There'll be files down here, oldest at the bottom and then toward the top. And so there's information about the remind invite, something about a graphical methods summary, things like that, some descriptions of the courses. I'll put screencasts that I do here. So those are things like this. And they're usually going to be uploaded to YouTube as well. And then the online version of our book, hopefully this will be a link that can get us there. I'm not sure if that's going to work right now or not. That open in a new window. And then the other thing is the Expert TA login is going to be right here also. So hopefully those help out. The website, honestly, is mainly for your parents. And the reason I say that is because you can access everything on Google Classroom. So here are the classes I've got in Google Classroom. Yours will look like this. The join code for our Google Classroom is lowercase qtrwvve. And I'll have that in a document that I put on my website, and I'll probably send you out an email invite to join that as well. So that's where you'll get most of your information. I'll have it organized in here, so into different topics. Current syllabus will be in there toward the top, unit topics, introductory materials, and things like that. So hopefully it'll be well organized for you. I've made it so that every time I post something, it doesn't end up in your stream. You can change your notifications so you don't get emails every time I post something either. So again, hopefully that helps, and I'll put this into the video. So I'll have other information that I'll get out to you in the first few weeks about things that we'll use, links we'll use, resources we'll use, applications, things like that. But I don't want to bombard you with that all at once. I'm going to try to get you information about the things we'll use a little bit at the beginning of the year, and then as we need them, get some information about others. I'll also try to go through tutorials of most of the applications or websites that we'll use, just so you have an idea, and you can always refer back to that. Just a little bit about the class itself with AP Physics C. It's really a challenging class. You may have heard that in the past. I think I'm going to run it a little differently this year for obvious reasons that our school year is different. I think personally, I'm going to recommend that we only take the mechanics exam. In the past, we've taken both the mechanics and electricity and magnetism exam. But the fact that we're starting about 3 weeks later, normally I give a summer assignment to students, and the fact that we're going to be at least partially online, which slows the pace of things, I think it's going to be really tough to get through the content of those. And I think the understanding wouldn't be great. So what I would suggest that we do is take the mechanics exam, and rather than both the mechanics and the electricity and magnetism exam. And if we get done early enough, we'll definitely do some things with electricity and magnetism that would help you out in college. But I think that's our likely path for greatest success. But that's what I think. I want to know what you think the first week of the course. That's something we don't have to decide on day one, but we probably want to decide pretty early. Other things with grading that That's going to be in the document, the course overview that I get to you, and I think I put that in our Google Classroom already, and it should be as a PDF on my website if you want to access it before you have Google Classroom accessed. Mostly tests and quizzes, labs and simulations. Normally we have projects. We may not have those this year, which really kind of upsets me. But again, there's limitations to what we can do, and I want to do as much as we can. But the course overview, like I said, is going to be on my Google Classroom as well. I want to talk to you a little bit about things I value, things that I think are important to let you know about how I want this class to go. And it's important to me that we share those things with each other. So as a teacher, I really value the questioning and analyzing of complex topics more than a right answer or a quick answer that doesn't show understanding. And that sometimes takes thought. I want to value a willingness to test new ideas and different ways of solving problems. My best students oftentimes think differently than other students. And whether they're coming up with a correct answer or not is less important to me than they're sharing their thinking, because we all grow as a class. So I think thoughtful group work and building understanding through discussion and collaboration and using evidence to do that is something I value. I value students helping other students, not necessarily giving them answers. So helping, understanding, and working to develop consensus is not the same as giving someone an answer. Because by helping, you're helping developing a deeper understanding of the topic and how to think. It's really important to me that each of you helps develop your own sense and of understanding. So that's individual, but we can collaboratively work together to get there. So that sense making is the biggest piece of AP Physics C. Things I believe that learning is both a group process and individual. So you learn from hearing other ideas, you learn from collaborating with people, you learn from me sometimes. But the sense making, how you figure that out up here, is an individual process. It's something you might be able to share with other people and help them make sense. But sense making is not the same as just knowing something. I think learning happens by trying, making mistakes, maybe failing, trying again, and listening and collaborating with others who've also made mistakes. That process of finding those mistakes and then figuring them out is one of the most important aspects about science. Finally, I believe that my role as a teacher is someone to help facilitate that. I need to set the class up in a way that's going to help you best make sense and understand things in your own brain. And that might be unique for each student, although my goal is to help all of you get there. So that's really true. I also value you as individuals and your interests outside of class. So I'm going to finish up the video with telling you a little bit more about my background and my family. So I am the youngest of 3 kids. I want to get to know you individually as well. So for me, like I said, youngest of 3 kids. I have a sister who lives in Canada just across from Detroit. She's a physical therapist. I have another sister who lives in Florida. She's a yoga instructor and a swim coach. She's done other things in her career also, and she lives outside of Fort Lauderdale. So it's really nice. I've got one sister in a warm climate. I usually go visit her at spring break. The other sister she lives in Canada, and she's just off of the Detroit River, which is actually just beautiful. It goes into Lake Erie, and they have a boat, and it's just beautiful up there. Unfortunately, due to COVID this year, visiting with family has been difficult. And so my sister from Canada is not allowed to come visit here in the United States, and I'm not allowed to go visit her. We've been FaceTiming a lot, but I value that. We all like to get outdoors and do things. So one of the things I love to do during the summer, and as long as the weather holds during the school year, is get out on my bike. So I'm going to share a video with you of a place I went this summer. It was probably about mid-July, maybe early July, probably early July. And since that time, I've been able to put a lot of miles on my bike. I think since we left school in March, I put over 2,000 miles by the time you see this. biking this summer. So it really helps me clear my thoughts. Exercise is good, outside is good. It helps me focus better on school and instruction when I need to do that. So thanks.
Hi. Well, one of the things I really like to do in the summer is get out and ride my bike. And I am all sweaty now. Goal I have every year is to ride at least 1 mile on a ride in a day, older than I am. So I turned 52 last year, and this year, today, I'm about at 55 miles. So that's the first time this year, 2020, I've done that. I really like getting outside. It's beautiful. This route is actually by Reynoldsburg's Summit High School, but I go all over the place. If you ever see a red bike like that, give me some room and know that that's my happy place in the summertime. Thanks.